know I got the receipts, girl. You know I got the receipts.
Porter was born Kimberly Antoinette Porter on December 15, 1970, in Columbus, Georgia, to a family of mixed racial heritage. Her mother, Sarah Porter, was Native American and white and was a juvenile probation officer. Her father, Jake Porter, was black and was a successful businessman. She was her parents' only child and grew up in a loving and supportive household surrounded by a large extended family.
Her aunt, grandmother, aunt-in-law, and cousin allowed our cameras into Kim's Columbus home, the same home she shared with her mother, Sarah. She passed away in 2014 from cancer. We even got a chance to see Kim's lily-white bedroom.
Kim was known for her natural beauty and outgoing personality. She was an excellent student who enjoyed extracurricular activities such as dance and theater. She loved playing the piano as well and was encouraged by her family to pursue her dreams of a career in the entertainment industry.
My mom would say, Kim, go play and it's time to practice your piano. So she was like, Tree, come sit with me and play my piano. So I would sit here with her and she taught me to play Annie.
Her family describes her as a gracious person who never met a stranger.
In January of 1987, while still a junior in high school, Kim won Model of the South. Now, this was a modeling competition held in South Carolina every year, and Kim winning that year made her the first ever black woman to win the title.
And then they would travel to Hilton Head, and she won quite a few contests there, and she won Model of the South there.
Porter's aunt, Carolyn Ross, says that title was Porter's big break. It led to other local gigs, modeling for local stores, and then on to New York City and internationally.
She won a chance to audition for the prestigious Wilhelmina Modeling Agency in New York. The talent scout that represented the modeling agency was very impressed with Kim and felt that she was a natural beauty that was going to be successful at anything she chose to do. The scout felt that Kim spoke well, was confident, and of course, very beautiful. Kim exuded confidence and walked the runway as though she owned it, which was very impressive given the fact that she was only 16. Kim's mother, Sarah, and her were prepared to move to New York if Kim was offered a modeling contract with Wilhelmina Modeling Agency, and even though modeling is what Kim wanted to pursue, she still had planned to go to college to study corporate law, saying, "Whether I do well in modeling or not, I'm going to go to college. I want to have something to fall back on. In modeling, you're here today and gone tomorrow. Besides, I can do more than just model." In 1988, Kim left her tight-knit family, moving from the rural town of Columbus, Georgia, headed for the big city of Atlanta. But what many do not know is that Kim actually left Columbus with longtime childhood friend, producer Dallas Austin. Now, Dallas and Kim had known each other their entire lives. Their mothers had both been pregnant with them at the same time. They went to school together from kindergarten all the way through to high school and had even gone to their high school prom together. They had matching BMWs, but they both were determined to make it big in the industry. So Dallas's dream was to be a producer and Kim's dream was to become a model. So it made sense to the both of them that they would go to Atlanta together. Once Kim got to Atlanta, her career as a model quickly began to blossom. And before long, she had made a name for herself in the industry. Her striking beauty and magnetic personality caught the attention of top photographers and designers, and she quickly became a sought-after model for fashion shows, print ads, and music videos. So meanwhile, during this time, singer Albie Shore was having his success as well. In 1987, he was introduced to Uptown Records founder Andre Harrell through a mutual friend, and as a result, ended up singing background vocals on Heavy D and the Boys' 1987 album, Living Large. Now through Uptown Records and Warner Brothers Records, Albie Shore released his #1 debut album, In Effect Mode. One night after a show, Andre Harrell introduced Al to Kim Porter. The two were instantly attracted to one another, and on an episode of Unsung, Kim said, "He was sweet and kind and genuine. Those are the things that I fell in love with, besides his good looks." Al, of course, had been lured in by Kim's beauty, flying in and out of Italy to visit her while she would be on site for modeling shoots. The pair eventually moved in together when Albie Shore moved Kim from Georgia to New York to live with him, where he was recording for Uptown Records. In New York, Kim could pursue her modeling career. Now, the release of Albie Shore's first single, Night and Day, reached #1 on the Billboard Hot Black Singles chart and then #7 on the Hot 100. The song was also Grammy nominated for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. His next hit, Off on Your Own Girl, would help catapult Albie Shore's career. Proving his ability to make hit slow jams, Albie Shore began to lend his vocals and songwriting talents to many, and soon Al and Kim found out that she was pregnant with their first child. So Kim put her modeling career on hold to focus on being a mother and support Al during the most successful time of his career. It was 1991, and this is around the same time that Jodeci was signed to Uptown Records. Albie Shore would lend his vocals, help write, and co-produce their hit song, Forever My Lady, which was a tribute to Kim being pregnant. Now, you guys remember the lyrics, "So you're having my baby, and it means so much to me." Well, Kim recalled that they were all in the studio writing the song, and they were having a hard time coming up with lyrics. And she said that Al looked over at her and said, "So you're having my baby?" To which she responded, "Uh-huh." And that is actually what inspired the line for that song. Now, later that year, their son Quincy was born, who was named after Albie Shore's mentor and music producer, Quincy Jones. The couple also named Quincy Jones as their son's godfather. Kim stayed with Albie Shore during most of this time, during the most successful time of his career, putting her own dreams on hold to focus on being a mother and supporting Al, who was now also her husband. Al, on the other hand, was not so appreciative of that love and support and began cheating on Kim. Kim ended their marriage when she found out that Al had gotten another woman pregnant. Now, leaving Al and now having a child to support, Kim took a job as a receptionist working for Andre Harrell at Uptown Records, and this is where she would meet Sean Puffy Combs. Now, every day when Sean would pass by the receptionist area where Kim was working, he was taken in by her beauty and could not stop staring at her. In fact, this was not the first time that he had actually seen Kim Porter. Sometime a while back, while in a recording session with Albie Shore, Sean had seen Kim and could not help but notice how pretty she was. When speaking with Essence magazine and talking about meeting Kim, Puffy said, "The first time I saw her, she was at the studio with her boyfriend." Now, y'all know he was referring to Albie Shore. "I wasn't trying to holler at her or anything, but I was admiring her lips, her eyes, her mouth, her shape, her energy. And I was thinking, I wish I had a girl like that. She kind of made me nervous. She wasn't like a New York girl. She was bohemian, mixed with Georgia peach hospitality. I got the idea she liked doing stuff like walking barefoot in the grass. I didn't think I could get her to like me. She was smooth, like ice. She's cool and collected and thinks before she speaks. You meet a lot of young ladies and they just don't do that. Kim was never pressed. She was always in control." So Kim and Puffy began spending a lot of time together, but were not officially dating. Puffy would take Kim to recording sessions, on business meetings, basically everywhere he went. They were inseparable. And just as she would be in the studio and business meetings with him, working as a receptionist, they would also be in the strip clubs, partying together, or playing poker. Kim was known for being a really fun person to be around, and the two of them just vibed. They were really in sync. Puffy has said that Kim could even throw a football, but they did not officially start dating until 1994. But everything that glitters definitely ain't gold, because while Puffy was spending all of this time with Kim, he had a girlfriend at home that had just had a son, and her name was Misa Hilton. Now, Puffy started dating Misa around 1991 while he was working as an intern in the A&R division at Uptown Records. She was just 17 years old, but she soon became a top hip-hop stylist at Uptown after she helped Puffy create a fresh new look for Jodeci. Now, after doing that, Andre Harrell was a little hesitant about Misa's ideas, but seeing her vision, he hired her to style up-and-coming artist Mary J. Blige. In addition to launching her fashion career, Misa also landed a role in the Notorious B.I.G.'s Big Papa music video, and here she is pictured above rocking the buns in the hot tub. Now, Misa and Puffy welcomed their son Justin Combs in 1993, but Puffy was apparently not interested in being a family man. Misa felt that Puffy's rising to stardom is what actually doomed their relationship because he wanted to experience life in a different way. He was becoming famous and rich really quickly, and he wanted all of that. So he wasn't really ready to settle down and get married, and that's what Misa wanted. Now, interestingly, Kim Porter actually moved in with Puffy and Misa when she had first broken up with Albie Shore. Kim was working at Uptown Records, and she struck up a relationship with Misa. So she actually met Misa first officially. Misa invited Kim to move into her home, and shortly after, Misa discovered that Kim and Puffy were messing around behind her back. So this is what led to their breakup, and that's why Kim and Puffy did not make it official or public until 1994, even though they had secretly already been messing around. So now, given the recent explosion with Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy and allegations of the FOs and all of the secret sex parties, I wonder if Misa, Kim, and Diddy had FOs. When they were all living together, I wonder, was this a threesome type of a deal? Drop in the comments and let me know what you think. So with Kim Porter came her 3-year-old son, Quincy, and Puffy knew this. So eventually he adopted Quincy, raising him as his own. Kim and Puffy's relationship would go off and on for the next 24 years. There were many women that came and went, children being born by other women. Kim also had 3 children for Puffy, a boy named Christian and 2 twin girls, Delilah Starr and Jessie James. Now, it's very honorable that Puffy adopted Quincy. He gave Quincy a very privileged life. And now that Quincy is an adult, he is often very publicly praised Puffy for adopting him. In 2020, though, when the world was shut down due to the pandemic, Quincy penned an open letter to his real father, Albie Shore, expressing his pain and anger for Al's absence when he was a child. The letter read, "Albert Brown, also known as Albie Shore, is my biological father, but Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, has been a father figure in my life for as long as I can remember. Sean Combs is the person whom I look up to and appreciate as a father. He is the one who helped mold me into the person I am today, and I will always try to live up to his expectations. He has always been supportive of me, and I will forever love and respect him. As far as my biological father goes, the spitting image is all I have taken from him. Throughout my life, I've always wondered about him, where he was, what was he doing, and most importantly, was he even thinking about me? The absence of my father has given me a better understanding of what type of man I'm going to be. I am grateful for my mom's love, support, guidance, and for her strength." Now, I am sure when Albie Shore saw this letter, many thoughts came to his mind, and he probably wanted to tell some truths that probably could have destroyed Quincy's outlook on Diddy. But instead of doing so, Al responded about a month later saying, "I'm a human being, so of course hearing about any family member being disappointed with you is devastating. But what can you do? I'm a human being, and my job is to fix it. I will not engage in a private family matter with the public, but I will say that Quincy is the most wonderful, kind young man in the world, and whatever he and I are going through, we are going to work it out, and that's all that counts. So the question that I am sure that everyone is asking, because I'm asking it as well, why was Albie Shore even absent in the first place? Why did Diddy adopt his son but did not marry Kim Porter? That's strange. And if Diddy truly adopted him, why is Quincy's last name still Brown after his father, Albert Brown, aka Albie Shore? When you legally adopt a child, they take on your last name. So why isn't Quincy's last name Combs? And if Kim and Al were married, that means that Al had automatic shared custody with Kim, still having his parental rights. Did Diddy make Al relinquish those parental rights? And why would Al just abandon Quincy? Al was famous in his own right. And at that time, his career being what it was, he would not have had to give up on Quincy because of any money problems. He had money. This leads me to believe that Diddy may have pushed Al out of Quincy's life. He may have seen Al as a threat since he and Kim shared a child, thinking that Kim could possibly go back to Al. Imagine the level of control that a person would want to have over a situation to push a father out of his son's life. Now, just analyzing everything that was happening back then, it just doesn't seem logical for Albie Shore to abandon Quincy. I mean, granted, he had also cheated on Kim and gotten another woman pregnant. But even that just doesn't justify why he would abandon Quincy. But perhaps there are some clues as to what was going on behind the scenes between Diddy and Al. In 2012, Albie Shore released a letter claiming that someone was trying to kill him. People didn't know whether he was having a mental breakdown or if he was actually shading Diddy or the Illuminati. The letter read, "Important read. I want to say that I love you from the bottom of my heart, and I appreciate the consistent love from you over the years, musically and all else. I am originally a hustler from the streets of Mount Vernon, from very humble beginnings, a loving mom who made sure I went in 100% on all and made something of the music craft that I've loved dearly. I thank you for sharing it with me over the years. I am just a human being, not perfect, but loves hard and appreciates all that God has allowed to happen in my life. Even my enemies, specifically the wealthy ones that can't help but be jealous of me, and even the broke ones that have entered my life with ulterior motives, which are most because of my trusting, giving spirit and willingness to help everyone, whether they deserved it or not, from getting artist record deals and them selling millions of records to helping those from being put out into the street or feeding them when they claim they have no food, and I ask for nothing. I've come to find out that there are some very jealous and bad people out here that you all know, love, and worship at times that are so jealous of me and doing some very bad things to me, like stalking my place of rest and even faking as though they are workers for major cable companies, etc. We all are getting the hint by now. They've also gotten to people closest to me, exes, co-workers, fakers, and plants by playing games, threatening them to kill them first if they turn them in, and or paying them money if they can get me to show up by telling me they are in need and seeing if I'll drop everything to help, as well as offering them things they can't refuse in their desperate lives, which makes them complete trash when they accept. They've even gone as far as getting them implants, devices, and cameras, watching me at home and to follow me around, and they communicate and feed them lines by walkie-talkies to try and set me up, etc., even renting a place in my neighborhood. The best part of why God is so amazing is that I now know exactly who the idiots are and the fake aliases all are, and I wish them all Godspeed. So FYI, if Albie Shore, aka Al Brown, is found dead, please contact my attorney, Arthur Aronson, and he will have all of the information on everyone, including their own closets emptied out and the main culprit funding it all. I will share who the key players are with you. So as I said, if I am found dead, you will know the who, what shortly after, since they seem to think that it's a joke or that I am effing joking we will find out who's really from Mount Vernon and not faking it. As I said, continue to F with a hungry, wounded animal in the woods with nothing to lose, and you will eventually get eaten. All involved in my favorite Bodie Bear, rest in peace. To my sons, I love you severely, ABS. Now, was this all for show, or was Albie Shore really speaking about an individual or individuals? What do you think? I mean, that was a lot to take in, so please drop in the comment section below and let me know who you think Albie Shore was talking about. Now, Kim Porter tragically passed away on November 15, 2018, and officially her cause of death was labeled as lobar pneumonia. In the days leading up to her death, Kim had been suffering from flu-like symptoms, and the coroner's report said that Kim's bedroom contained bottles of water, sports drinks, and Pedialyte on her nightstand, as well as a bowl of what appeared to be tomato soup.
Her grandmother, owner of Royal Cafe in Columbus, says she spoke to Porter the day before her granddaughter died.
She told me that she felt better, and she was used. The doctor had been to her house, and he gave her some antibiotics.
Lala Mae Starr says it's heartbreaking for the entire family to learn her daughter was dead from social media, and for Diddy.
He said, "My baby is gone. My baby is gone."
Now, the autopsy was completed on Kim the day after she was found dead in her home, but her death certificate previously stated that her cause of death was deferred and the manner of death was pending investigation, pending additional tests. Now, Kim was buried in her hometown of Columbus, Georgia on November 24th, and during the elaborate public funeral that Diddy arranged, her casket traveled in a horse and carriage, and he had Pastor T.D. Jakes officiate her service. Now, the moment that everyone could not take their eyes off of, though, was Diddy and Albie Shore walking Quincy up to the podium to say his goodbyes to his mother. He was held up on either side by Al and Diddy, and Quincy spoke through tears about the love that he had for his mother, and I don't think there was a dry eye in sight. I mean, both in the crowd, the guests that were there, I mean, even the people that were watching televised on YouTube. But in that moment when the world was feeling Quincy's pain, here comes Diddy. I just want to say to my kids, Justin, Christian, Delilah, Jesse, Chance, and the other man in the house, Quincy, your mother instilled in me this, and I pledge in front of everybody right now that I will always be there for you. I will always take care of you. To the girls especially, we about to enter some different type of times. I want you to be able to talk to me about everything, and I mean everything, and I mean everything. Now, before they had even gotten to the service, Diddy had posted on Twitter, "Today we lay to rest our angel. Her spirit lives on with us forever. We thank you all for your prayers and support. You have no idea how much it means to us. We thank God for you all." Now, what people did not know was that on November 18th, which was a week before Kim's actual funeral, Diddy had a memorial for her at his mansion in Bel Air. There were 100 guests there, including Kim and Kourtney Kardashian, Mary J. Blige, French Montana, and a whole host of other people. So seeing Al with Diddy and Quincy at that podium, people could not help but remember his Instagram post. Albie Shore had posted about the day that he found out that Kim was dead, and it read, "The morning of the @Soul Train Awards at BET pre-production at Jesse Collinson, #Albie's Around the World. I just found this footage from the morning I learned of @Lady KP's, aka Kim Porter's murder, and how it ripped the soul from my physical body. I was on my way to film the pre-show packages for the #BET Awards with @Tisha Campbell Martin and @Tashina Arnold when I received a call from PR icon #Queenie Donaldson asking me if I was okay and did I hear the news. I had no clue. I do know very clearly that #Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some bullshit, really? This is where I get in trouble. We just celebrated our son at Quincy's new deal and Christmas special with @Netflix, and she was in fantastic health. As well, laughing, seeing me and at Diddy's mutual exchange at the theater. I'm going to leave it here. So when people read this post, of course, they immediately suspected that once again, Al was being cryptic and was sending subliminal messages that Diddy had done something to Kim that caused her death. Then in 2021, Al B. Sure posted another photo of him and Kim to social media with a cryptic message that read, "She sent me this saying life imitating art, art imitating life. Now it all makes sense. #star@Fox. She told me other stuff too. She was running. I said call the FBI." And just as quick as he burst on the scene with his cryptic messages, in July of 2022, while in the studio working on new music, Al B. Sure passed out and was rushed to the hospital, where he slipped into a coma for 2 months. Then in October of 2022, miraculously, he came out of the coma.
He toured the world and won lots of awards, but in the blink of an eye, it was almost all taken away. When he got sick, he fell into a coma. Now, for the first time, in an exclusive interview with Crystal Young, he's talking about his health, his career, his legacy. Crystal, what was it like?
Wow. He was so authentic, so genuine. Whether you remember him from the late 80s, early 90s, or from now, he is a singer and has always been known as a humble, nice guy. Well, he had a catastrophic medical emergency, but he is back. He is recovering. He's getting stronger, and he's also talking to me. So please take a look.
He credits his mom for instilling in him not only a love of music, but also a strong work ethic.
Imagine telling a single mother 3 forms of public transportation, yeah, I'm making an album, I'm making some music. Okay, make sure you're in the house at this time before the street light, what have you, so on and so forth. No, I'm in the basement making music. And she's like, okay, fantastic. So I spent many nights locked out. So it's the discipline factor of, being on time, following through.
It was his mother who took him to his first concert, the King of Pop, at Madison Square Garden.
She said when Michael came out on stage, I stood there. Oh. And tears just started, and I froze. She said I couldn't move. She would try to shake me, and I was like,
wow, wow, wow.
It's Michael.
As a kid, Al mimicked entertainers he admired, like the legendary Tom Jones.
I used to religiously watch Tom Jones and try to mimic. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
He became close friends with David Bowie, who he says taught him how to ski, and Michael Jackson, who called him the heir apparent. He was at the height of his game.
Just imagine, people putting you on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. Who's the easiest person to shoot at? Mm-hmm. The highest point. Mm-hmm. Clear target. Mm-hmm. So in every aspect of it, I'm just glad that there was no Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram during the Eddie Heartbreak Tour. And imagine Suge Knight was the head of my security, and me and Bobby Brown and Mike Tyson are running around everywhere and having a great time and enjoying life.
That sounds like a group right there.
Oh, I'm trying
Bobby Brown and Mike Tyson. All right, that sounds like you could get into some trouble, capital T.
No, this is good trouble. This
good trouble.
No, but you know what it was?
Kind.
But it was, because it was a brotherhood.
But eventually, with success came excess, and Al began to gain weight.
As time progresses, your life changes, your lifestyle changes. Mm-hmm. More steak dinners, more late nights in the studio.
With all the trimmings.
After a while, the lifestyle changes, and the metabolism does as well.
It was one of his mentors, Quincy Jones, who inspired him to lose the weight.
He cares, he really says, hey, man, I need you to live, man. You got stuff to do.
Right.
You have things to accomplish and things to do, but we need you around to do them. So, get your act together.
He got bariatric surgery, began to look and feel better, then earlier this year had a medical emergency when he was rushed to the hospital after collapsing while working on new music. He called one of his closest friends for help.
Eddie, after standing above me, I'm in a wheelchair, and he's talking to security. He had me hidden in the corner, and I'm in an emergency room. And then I remember him embracing me, putting me in his Escalade or whatever, and moving me. And I just remember, those are the vague things that I remember, and wind up being in a hospital somewhere. This is in July 2022. 22, and then it was October.
In a coma for 2 months, Al was close to death.
I was intubated. I was on a ventilator, had a tracheotomy. There was so many things going on to the point where they were considering sending me to hospice. And what people don't truly understand unless you've been through this type of medical journey is taking for granted breathing, tying your shoes, speaking.
As details of his health crisis began to surface, he received calls and letters from all over the world.
Keep your spirit right. Know that we praying for you. We love you. And everything's in God's hand.
And all of my amazing, industry colleagues and friends and, everybody from, Snoop and Halle Berry and just, everybody's been reaching out to send love, prayers.
One of the most memorable, his recent letter from Vice President Kamala Harris.
Receiving this beautiful, beautiful piece of mail from the White House.
Nice.
From the Vice President.
Nice. Wait, so it was from Kamala?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Saying what? I heard you're back?
Yeah, he's back.
It tells the story of racism like you've never seen on screen before. How Al Sharpton rose.
Al has slowed down, but still making great strides. He recently narrated the national radio commercial spots for Reverend Al Sharpton's documentary, Loudmouth. Although he's on the road to recovery, his body bears the scars of his medical trauma.
I have what's called a chevron, and that's when they cut your chest open, which is probably the first time I'm actually talking about it. I'm the recipient of an amazing, blessed new liver.
The liver is a workhorse in your body.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And, and I'm going to treat it well.
As Al looks forward, he's writing a book about his life.
So the working title has been From Mount Vernon to the Moon and Back.
I like it.
And yes, new music.
It's going to be an adult formula, obviously, and chock full of telling the story.
Yeah.
With a New Jack Sexy type of groove to it.
Al's legacy is about music and family. He's super close to his 3 sons.
And if I can influence or help or inspire someone else, I did my job. And if my sons and my grandson smiling and say, hey, that's my pop-pops, then I'm okay. I think I did my job, just as long as I make them proud.
Al B. Shore is a survivor, his life characterized by high highs and low lows. He's faced extreme challenges, stared down death, and he's still here to tell his own story.
We all know in life that health is real wealth. I think you would agree with that at this point.
Absolutely, Crystal.
If you are healthy, if you are feeling good, you are 98% there. Just continued success in all you do.
And just in case you were wondering, the moves, he's still got them.
Bow. Outside of that?
Wait. I might can do that because that just seems like it's a lot of shoulders.
That's it, a lot of shoulders. And it's good for me to stretch at this age.
You got a good heart and that comes through, so you're
Thank
good.
you so
all
much.
right. Part two.
Part 2.
All right.
Let's update our software.
Okay. I love that. Updated software. Bing. Let's hit the button. Thank you, love.
Thank you, dear. Appreciate you.
Now, of course, people speculated that Diddy could have had something to do with this because, after all, Al had been publicly speaking out about Kim's death, insinuating that someone murdered her, that particular someone being Diddy. And given the recent allegations now brought forth by Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie, people can't help but believe that there could be some truth to these suspicions that Diddy was involved with Kim's murder and Al B. Shore being in a coma. Now, Cassie has alleged that Diddy was physically abusive to her for the entire time that they were together. Multiple people have come out to support and corroborate Cassie's allegations that Diddy beat her up badly on many occasions, including a former part of Diddy's security. Now, these same people that witnessed what Diddy did to Cassie also witnessed violence at the hands of Diddy with Kim Porter. In clips posted on YouTube, Diddy's former head of security, Mark Curry, claims that Diddy broke Kim's nose during a fight on a yacht. He also alleged that Diddy hit a producer with a chair after overhearing them talking with Kim on a phone line he allegedly had tapped. Curry added that he'd also seen Diddy spike women's alcohol in the club. Now, that's a serious allegation. So if Diddy was capable of doing all of this, people feel that it isn't too far-fetched that he could have been responsible for the death of Kim Porter. So please let me know what you think about all of this. What does Al B. Sure know? His cryptic and random posts on social media just may have some validity to them. And what is the true story behind Diddy adopting Quincy? Did Kim keep Al from seeing Quincy, or did Diddy keep Al from seeing Quincy? Who do you think was responsible for that? I mean, many people say that Kim Porter was a party girl, a gold digger, a woman that wanted fame and fortune, and would always go after the guys that were hot, that were at the top of their game. And earlier in the video, when speaking about Dallas Austin and Kim Porter moving to Atlanta together to chase their dreams, many people speculate that Kim had actually cheated on Dallas with Al B. Sure, that Dallas and her were actually in a relationship, not just childhood friends. So drop in the comment section and let me know, what do you think about this rumor? Do you think that Dallas and Kim were actually a couple? Let me know your thoughts. And then there is this picture with Kim and Kirk Frost back in the day. What was the story behind this photo? Does anyone know that tea? Drop in the comment section if you do. Channel, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye.